Welcome to Pro Tools Expert. My name's Dan Cooper, and we're back with another 15-minute mix challenge video. I did quite a few of these early on in 2016, and they proved to be quite popular. Now, what I set out to do is to mix as much of a song as possible in 15 minutes or less using a bundle of plugins by a certain brand. And in this video, I'm going to be using FabFilter plugins. Now, instead of using a FabFilter bundle, I'm going to use the FabFilter plugins that I use all the time. FabFilter Pro-Q2, I absolutely love this. This is such a Swiss Army knife for EQ. Pro-C2, the compressor, it's very powerful this. There's lots of different compressor modes in here, sidechain filters, auto gain control. Pro-L, FabFilter's limiter, again, very powerful and very popular. I've seen that a lot of people use this. Pro-DS, the DeEsser, very good on vocals this, very transparent, but also very good on things like drum overheads. Pro-G, FabFilter's gates. And last but no means least, FabFilter Pro-R. This is FabFilter's latest plugin, which is a very quirky reverb plugin, as we can EQ the reverb, but we can also use EQ functionality to set the decay rate of the reverb. So you can have a very long reverb tail, let's say at the upper mids, and a very short decay rate of the reverb in the lower mids. And then you can shape that further with this Pro-Q2 style EQ underneath. So the song, I've got 32 audio tracks here, so I'll do my best to get this mixed in 15 minutes. So let's have a little listen to the song. I've already got the mix sounding pretty good as a static mix, and I've loaded plugins in areas where I think they're going to be most useful, just so I can work quickly. The instrumentation is pretty straightforward. We've got bass guitar, piano, VI drum that does overheads, kick, snare. We've got an 808 kick, just to add a little bit more thud in there. We've got a tom arrangement. Sounds a little bit tribal. I've got all that bust to a stereo auxiliary, again, just to speed up the workflow. I've got a little bit of acoustic guitar just to decorate one of the sections, and a couple of pairs of electric guitars doing its thing in verses and choruses. And obviously as well, we've got a lead vocal with some backing vocal sections that were recorded as 6 or 8 parts, but I have printed them down to stereo tracks, again, just to speed up the workflow. So let's have a listen to what we've got to mix. So I'm just going to play through the verse and the first chorus.
I sit and I think, if that were me, look what I could have been. Wondering all the time, if that were me. When I dream in a dream, if I could fly way across the sky, I would give it all a try. It's not over, it's not over, we've only just begun. It's not over, no it's not over, we've only just begun. Deep within my mind.
Okay, so let's get going on this. Start the clock. And I want to jump straight in on the drums. This here, we've got this kick drum, and we've got an 808 kick drum coming in a second. Now I'm going to use this Pro-G, the gate. If you listen to that kick drum, it kind of breathes a little bit too much in between the main hits. And I want to focus that a little bit just to get more of a thud out of it. So let's take it out of bypass. This is default. Sounds a little bit much, so let's increase the hold and increase the release. Something like that. Maybe speed up the attack, let the transient through a little bit more. Sounds much better. Before and after. Now, the 808 kick drum's coming in now. Let me just solo that for you. Just add a little bit more weight in the bottom end. But there's a little bit of a click in it. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Let's cut the highs. Pro-Q2 is very quick. All you need to do is double click anywhere and you get a bands. Let's roll off the top ends just so that we get the weight, the subbiness of that through. Something like that. So let's bring back in the acoustic kick drum that I've just gated. Much better. Let's do a before and after. Much, much better. Now let's introduce the acoustic kit. Okay, it sounds like we need to give a little bit of love to the sound of that acoustic kit. Back into Pro-Q2. Kind of sounds like we need to add a little bit of air, not too much, just a little bit of sparkle. So let's double click, load up our bands. Got high shelf here. Something along those lines. That sounds quite nice. Let's do a before and after. Sounds nice, much more focus in that. So let's now introduce this tribal tom arrangement that I was talking about. Sounds nice, but I think we kind of need to glue them together a little bit. And instead of using compression, I'm going to use Pro-L, the limiter. Just so we've got something that doesn't sound like it's got too much of a dynamic range. I just want to squish it together a little bit to make it sound more exciting. Now to introduce the limiting in Pro, we use this gain control on the side here. All the way up to the top, you've got maximum limiting. All the way down, you get none at all. A little trick with this plugin, if you hold shift down on your keyboard whilst you increase the amount of limiting, the output, if I just load that up quickly down here, you will see that it level matches. So as I increase the amount of limiting, the output dips. So it compensates for the output, which is nice. It means you can actually hear what the limiter's doing to your sound. So let's see what we can do to these toms. Let's hold shift. Right, we're getting limiting now. We can change the style of the limiter down here. I'm going to go for punchy. Before and after. Much more like it. It's just catching some of those louder hits and sort of just pushing them back, forcing them back to be a little bit more like the energy of the others, which is great. So now we've got that under control, let's move across to the bass guitar. Nice kind of thrashy pick bass here. It's recorded with a little bit of saturation. Don't think it's going to need much, this, if I'm honest. Just something to help, again, sit it in the mix. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go straight for a preset, because there's one in here I absolutely love. This one here. Punchy bass guitar. Let's reach for that threshold. Sounds good. Now at the bottom here, we've got the sidechain filter. Again, Pro-Q2 style. And anything below this point here isn't going to hit the threshold. So if you had any little subby bits of energy coming through, sometimes that can hit the threshold and upset what you're doing. Now, this is set so the bass guitar, fundamental notes and the bits above, are hitting that threshold, as you'll see from the graphic. Bring it down a little bit. Sounds nice. Before and after. Let's bring the output out a little bit. Might speed up the attack just a touch. Yeah, that's doing the job. I like it very much. Now, move across to the piano. This is an acoustic grand piano. Let's have a little listen. And let's reach for Pro-Q2 to focus this a little bit. What I like about this piano is that it's got that top end ring and shimmer and shine to it, but I'm not too fussed about what it's doing in the lower mids and the lower end. So I'm going to use Pro-Q2, click down here, I'm going to sweep this across until I've taken away some of the body of the piano, leaving that top end just to sort of ring through. I like what the bass guitar's doing, so I don't want the piano to get in the way of the bass. So let's use this to let the bass come through, but to let the piano just ring through at the top end. Something like that, maybe a little bit of a push at the top end as well, high shelf. Before. Nice, 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 nice. That's done the job. Now let's have a little look at the acoustic guitar. It's only a little feature, but it's worth getting in the mix. Okay. Doesn't sound like it was recorded very well, but I think we can tidy that up a little bit. It sounds a bit muddy. It's got a lot of bellow in it. So if I pull that out, we should again, much like the piano, just get that top end percussive sound of the strumming. So let's use Pro-Q2 to fix that. So it's definitely that area to my ears. Let's pull it down. Might even just do a little low cut. Before. That's much, much better. Keep moving across. Let's get to the lead vocal.
I won't let you slip away. Oh.
Okay, it sounds quite nice, but let's start with the DeEsser. A little bit sibilant, but I'd just like to just attenuate it ever so slightly. Now, Pro DS has this excellent little graphic here. These two handles either side. This is the side chain, and it will glow yellow where the plugin reckons the sibilance is. And you just set these handles either side, use the thresholds and range to then start the de-essing. Keep it on single vocal here. If you're using this on, let's say, an instrument, you can use these other settings to the right here, but let's just go for this vocal. And I'm just going to put it in solo so we can hear what it's doing.
I won't let you slip away.
Okay, it's pretty much there. So let's bring the threshold down.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Oh.
And we can audition the de-essing as well, which is nice. Yep, I'd say that's set correctly. Let's move across to compression next. And again, I'm going to cheat for this. Let's go to vocals. Let's go for up front.
I won't let you slip away.
Now, I'm going to change this ever so slightly because I like the opto compressor most.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Opto compressor is always brilliant on vocals.
I won't
Let's take it out
let
of
you
solo.
slip away. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Do a quick before and after. Really nice, really nice. Just sits it perfectly. Now let's move across to Pro R. Let's get the vocal sitting in the mix with a little bit of space around it. Now I'm going to use this as an insert after the compressor. Of course, though, you can use this on an effects return, but again, just for speed, I'm doing it this way. And there's a great preset here called Vocal Slap. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like.
I won't let you slip away.
Right, let's adjust this a little bit to back off the effects. Now we can use the mix parallel control at the top here.
I won't let you slip away.
Which is a bit better. But let's increase the effects so that we can hear what we're doing. And it sounds like I need to add a little bit more of a shimmer to the vocal. So I'm going to pull down the decay rate of the low mids here, increase the highs, and brighten the effects ever so slightly, the post EQ. Let's have a listen.
I won't let you slip away.
Now we can change the space here, make it a bigger space. Too much, let's back it off. And add a little bit of modulation to the effects here.
I won't let you slip away.
And the brightness,
Oh,
maybe a little bit darker.
wouldn't have it any other way.
And let's back the mix off now.
It's not over, it's not over. We've only just begun. It's not over,
Nice.
no, it's
4.
not over. We've only just begun.
Now let's do a couple of little things over on the master, so the final stage, the 2-bus, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to start straight away with EQ Pro-Q2 again. And to me, the overall sound of this so far sounds pretty good, but it's a little bit rumbly out in the sides, so the wide bits of the stereo image. Now I'm going to use mid-side processing to kind of rein in the wide rumble. Now it's really simple to do this. Let's make a low cut or high pass, whatever you want to call it. Go to the bottom here, channel modes, mid-sides, right click up here on this little handle, stereo placement, side, and then we can use this little dial down here, which is the outer ring here. If we move it to the right,
No, it's not.
we'll hear just the sides, and I'm going to use this to cut the low end out of the sides. That's better. Now if we roll this to the other side, we'll monitor just the mids. Make another bands, right click, set it to mids, and let's add a little bit more energy up the middle. Only something subtle. And then we go back over to this, set it back up the middle, and let's do a little A-B.
No, it's not over. We've only just begun.
Perfect, perfect. Now compression, back over to the Pro C2. And guess what? I'm going to cheat again. Over to mastering, organic thickness. Let's give this a go, see what it can do.
No, it's not over. We've only just begun.
And a good trick with this kind of thing, slow attack, fast release. Lets the transients through, just provides a little bit of glue. It's only taken a tiny bit off, but that's all I want it to do. Perfect. And of course, the last stage, limiting. Let's hear what this can do. So hold shift and let's get this sorted.
We've only just begun.
As you can hear, that's way too much. That's maybe not enough. Let's say something like that sounds pretty good. Put the output back. Watch your monitor levels, boys and girls. Back it off a little bit. Okay, stop the clock. And we've just about got it in within 15 minutes. Okay, so let's do a little A-B before and after. So the song before any FabFilter plugins and the song after. And for this, I'm just going to make sure that that very last limiter is off.
It's not over. We've only just begun. It's not over. No, it's not over. We've only just begun.
Anyway, I hope you guys got something from this. For more information on FabFilter plugins, do check out the FabFilter website. I'm Dan from Pro Tools Expert, and I'll see you again soon.